With all the discussion of a cognitive test for Joe Biden, I can tell you what those are like. First of all, it's a ridiculous parameter. And already they sort of set you up for failure because anytime you felt this feeling of maybe depression or sadness within the last 6 months. And I said, well, there was a bit of a downturn for me, but everything's on an upswing. And it's happened fairly recently. But nope, everything had to be within those 6 months. So I had to include it, even though I'm like, well, the difference is finally the healthcare system is responding. So when they weren't responding and it was really hard to elaborately get my healthcare system in order, that was the depression because it felt hopeless. But thankfully, I'm one of those stubborn people who don't give up and had the voices of my students and the reminders of the visual cues of the principal walking away. So to walk away, technically, is not me, and that would have been the source of suicide. So I chose not to do it. Don't give up. The next step is for me just to explain this and to match the visuals and call it part 2 and upload it to Always Learn Something New. Always is the generalizations that when you hear somebody say, you kind of know they're not with you. They're kind of in their own place. Or somebody is being dramatic and histrionic. And if it's nobody lets me speak, well, that's what's that about? And the other people who aren't letting them speak are asking questions like, well, what's wrong with him? So because I was concussed as a school teacher and I did the WH question, so what, where, who, why, when assessments, I think I got stuck there. I think all of these moments are me being stuck as a teacher, concussed on the job, and then going home and back to school, home school, to the home of violence, and back out into the world. So leaving my house would have been fine, except the anticipation of coming back. And that's why the anticipation of my students stressed out about being bullied in their next class or at lunch and recess was something I wasn't 100% aware of until I had the social group and they shared their bullies, and then I started, doing something about it. Unfortunately, when they sent the bullies to the principal's office, the principal would give them candy. So in a school full of gossip, it really does take a village to understand the truth. But when it comes down to it, the list of the names to testify against my students, you're educators, and you decided to dump your emotional anxiety and worries on me and try to get the kids out of the room as much as possible and say, oh, I'm so overworked, I'm so exhausted, it's so hard. How is it so hard when kindergartners come to your school reading? And we're working in Lincoln Park. We're working in Lincoln Park. That little mistake is so interesting because we looked at a house and then he lost his deposit. He didn't want to move there. We also bought property in Mexico and he wanted to remove it. So he had a huge hissy fit, a meltdown, and that was the company that kept calling me. And I finally said, who gave you this number? You're calling me 2-3 times a week. And they said his name. And ever since they said his name, I could not say his name. Oh, really? How nice. So he's pretending. He's delaying. Get it? He has to do all these things. So then that spent and wasted a whole lot of time. Because how long was he in my house for? I mean, we're not just hanging around. We're trying to make plans to move. And that's why the question was, why aren't you guys moving? And for the first time ever, I was different. I didn't make up an answer to explain to the family something because I'm the one that explains. Because he's the one so different and not understood. Nobody understands me. Nobody lets me speak. I'm always ruining everything. Yeah, I guess so. Does anyone know anyone like this? Seriously. Dramatic, but also purposefully dramatic in the right spot. Anyway, that home, I remember looking at it. We put the money down. I said, yes, I was down for anything. He didn't like the carpet. He didn't like the sink. He didn't like the microwave. Oh my God, the appliances were too old. I said, choose something. I'm allergic to cats and you won't let me get an allergy filter. That's why I'm going to write about Rabbit Air, the best allergen filter anywhere. Well, to me at the time. And these kids have everything and the parents are even complaining. So let's make an easier grading scale. And let's obviously get rid of the teachers who grade for real because they just want a vehicle to free high school. So J.B. Pritzker, this is for you. Don't you want to know what's happening in your city? I'm not trying to focus on J.B. Pritzker, but he was vetted VP pick on the news, and I hadn't seen him talk in a long time, and that's it. His name is on the bottom of the human rights form for all of this stuff. Everything connected to the city has his name on it, and the Millennium Park, the Pritzker Pavilion. You're everywhere, so I was not thinking about you. But now that you're in that memory, short term, because I just heard your voice, I'm back in American politics. So yes, I'm going to remember stuff. And I want a response, because they didn't respond to me. None of them did, except to say we don't care about these kids. So is that the message? I was in federal court, man, and it was really stressful. The whole city said there's no one that can protect kids with special needs. Really? But get this, I go to this party. I meet a special educator, lawyer, and oh my goodness, they just were so not down. So I don't know, maybe it is really just about the money, because I contacted internally first, local, state, federal governments to get my kids a classroom and was in federal court with them. And the union decided not to take this case. So now this is a #1 rated school for special ed. Well, don't you want to know how they got there? Because they took the Wilson method from me. And like I said, I got to see the behaviors, the stressed out behaviors of them, because I was the one holding them accountable. And unfortunately or fortunately, they had the law behind them, because the words were you going to do this or not? You clearly can't represent yourself in in court. And they said, yeah, I know, but the first thing I need to know is I don't have a non-disparaging disclosure and a confidentiality clause. And the lawyer told me, yes, you don't. And I don't know if that's true or not, because they didn't really do their job, but that's my understanding. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. So if I do have that, unfortunately, am I in trouble? I don't know, but that's the problem. No, my understanding was, because I knew that eventually I would tell the story. I already went through this, where I was going to tell the story. Back in the day, I confronted the abusers and said, well, do whatever you want. I'm going to tell my story, and I shouldn't have done that. But I was standing up, because I thought that's what you do. But I was a little too young to recognize, no, you're supposed to keep that in. Don't tell the bad guys your plan. Back and forth, sharing this, I don't want to share it, because the bad guys are gonna find it. And if you are taking advantage of individuals with cognitive or intellectual disability, then screw you. Let's begin. Okay, so there's darkness. Okay, we've got vegetables, because I'm pickling them. Green beans, asparagus, mushroom, and beets. Beets goes back to physical assault and somebody who made beats but was also an event manager. So I'll be writing that letter to the Chicago Parks District, because they were the ones who gave me the words. Remember, everyone who gave me the words, I'm going to say thank you to. We all stick together and no one will believe you. Hello, that's me saying hello to people in my neighborhood. The Cabrini Green Initiative that I learned at the Cultural Center, a safe place to say hello to people. And I did purchase things from this company thinking that it was groove, not grove. B. That sound is really harsh on my face and lips. I thought it was groove. I already said lots this. Of yelling. Just keep it. Contain it. Sad I lost it. What did I lose? Well, my name. That's why my principal who used my name. Double tap. Whew, 3 fingers. No thank you. That's intense. The sensation, I can feel it on my body. Okay. That's my address in Chicago. And friends who wrote back to me when I sent them care packages, because they're the military. 2001, I was keeping in touch through letter correspondence, and why letter writing is a lost art, but maybe I'd like to bring it back. I don't know. This is a poet who shares my name. Done. So I gotta be able to not be afraid of my own name. Okay, that's the Chicago Poster, because he left all this stuff in my house, and I packaged up everything for him, slowly but surely, and I realized the movement really did help. But also, he wasn't gonna leave. And hey, if you don't do it yourself, then someone will do it for you. This seems to be the consensus of a lot of people. All right, it's Pride Month, and I love these words. You are a gift to the world. And rainbow. The original rainbow, of course, is Judy Garland in the treatment of Hollywood. So that stuff is super scary. So, says, hi friend, June 3rd, 2023. I never was able to put her whole name in, because something restricted me. My body did not allow me. I could not force my body to do anything. This is a screenshot of that charity. And that's Meghan Manning and Meghan Markle. The Stellate Ganglion Block was the work of a charity that wanted to dampen the vibrancy, the vividness of the PTSD. But eventually I just became a client. They wanted to just do the surgery on me. Back in 2015, this is, I don't want to say victim narratives, because we are writing the stories of veterans. That's different. People that have gone through real trauma. And then there's people that fake trauma so they can get the same benefits. And that's kind of crap. Okay, bystander abuse. And the bystander abuse handbook with Nate Smiley, comparing the property manager who did a great job with stalker, who let me know things, who informed me of stuff, and the office that was so understanding. They wanted to have a picture of him. The new office and the new people there want to keep you in fear. So they are not a model property management building, and they are the first people that I did have to share this with. I'm going to focus on the stairs, because that's being at a wedding at the DIA. And I'm saying, well, hello, you didn't read the emails. I said I can't do these things, and you're not using your eyeballs, because you're forcing me to do this stuff, because the whole point was I'm not going to use my trauma to get out of stuff. Nope, I'm going to press in and unfortunately have to show you my body popping. The nicest thing was the bus driver and the photographer that day actually asked me, are you okay? They were the only ones. So if you really do see someone struggling, the best thing you can do is just say, hey, are you okay? Can I help you? And I said, you know what? Thank you so much for saying it. And at the end of the day, I said to them, you guys are the only ones who asked. I just want you to know that. I don't know if other people heard me, but I don't want these to be my friends. Absolutely not. You want friends like this? Black and white contrast. That's the world too, as we compare and contrast between, well, families that are okay with difference and families that seem to use difference, because the words were, in my family, we hate difference. July 24th, 2023, first time how cooking helped me. I'm not sure what that is, so I'm just gonna let that one go. I don't know. Cemetery gates. Okay. Stick. Ick. and touch. The first time I let someone, they wanted to, get me something for my healthcare. Can I get you a gift? Or get me something for my healthcare. I said, get me a glue stick. If you want to sit next to me, then I'm going to have to dampen idea of touch. Go out with me or something. What? So it took 6 attempts to even just sit next to me. And that's why I can absolutely say it takes a while to get close to someone. So if someone's hesitant or has a endocrine system that's elevated, as you can hear now, and I'm vocal now to say I'm explaining it. But back then I could not explain it. So I knew that I would not be able to explain it then, because if I'm not able to talk, but my body's saying no, and then they break that break that consent, well then there you go. They know what they can do to you. They totally get what PTSD is, and there's the ick. All right, I'm sorry. I'm really stressed out saying this because the visuals are a lot, and I also think, well, this will be part 2, and I can delete this, and I'm supposed attach it to the podcast just to practice where the heck all these sites are. So I was in preparation that the quantity would just never end. But now it's getting a lot better. Tech came to the show. Unbeknownst, I invited them in. For my open mic show, when you're out there, like stand up, and you have to say, I'm injured, please don't sexualize me, but I'm going to make some sexual jokes and talk about my body and how the word makes it reverberate. Because I would flash back and I would start doing poetry.
So I finally heard it, or I didn't hear it. I used to do that a lot to really tackle that
the most
sound for teacher and tap, which is the thing on the phone, constantly tap. Anyway, so the first time I'm not doing that, so I'm doing it now, and yes, it's creating a reverberation when I do it. But I also needed to dampen the sound. So in order to get rid of the trauma from sounds and things, what you do is press in and confront it to remind yourself, confront that fear. It will work. S, stop, and that used to be a big one. Or kick them out. And that's why I found a poem. And that's for kick them out. Kick them out. Because of the that was a harsh sound on my face and body as well. But hey, it's not anymore. Anyway, I heard it, or I didn't hear it.
Because I would flash back and I would start doing poetry. And it was weird. I gotta admit, it was totally weird.
When I write motherfucker, that such a nice kick, a strong leaves me flying, flexing, forcing, fancy, that flip. When a moment revealed themselves finally the way they exist. Spring from my lips, its grip reminds me to never verbally fuck with. Or to only fuck with such a perfect composite, but only until the pigs have had their fill on words to create that false image. Real damage from lack of being able to truly manage. Self-regulation, self-care being general tools the population will use. For those who can't demonstrate, they hide. They hid. Other rules they abide to. Lies that keep their words in another category altogether. I know that. My words falter, the inability to spray danger, when caught. Strangers in my vocabulary where a cup transforms to a spoon. Milk and honey are clearly not the same, now enter doom and gloom. Since if you can't get your words right, one's plume can never resume. Yes, there's background noise, but I found this sound helps me think clearly. That's why it's different. Things are just done differently. In the past, I needed no noise to go full blast. Concentration is a library. And now, like I said, the background noise is the thing that absolutely moves me. Moves me to do stuff.
The nice thing is, I couldn't hold the microphone up to my face, so a lot of it wasn't really heard. So that's why when I captured it in the YouTube video, believe me, it's bizarre. My name, I lost my name in the relation. In order to get me out of this cycle of fear, they had to really push me. So they asked me, can I be your, can you be my emergency contact? And there was somebody who was a neighbor who had just moved into the neighborhood, had not known anyone, but also was dealing with an issue with an disability swing. So doing advocacy, knowing I'm a special educator, word of mouth travels far, because I'm walking through the park all the time. That was how we connected. And I said, sure, if there's any capacity that we can stay, in each other's lives, just for the fact that you have, children who require special attention and you say you don't have anyone here, let's create that. No boundaries. I do not want to date. No dating. Because, well, the point with that was, anyway, this person thought that he would date me after marriage. And I said, well, how are you supposed to date your wife? So we separated, and apparently we were dating, and I'm the one that chose, not the relationship. Not you got into my house and you stayed there for 2 years being a savage, and you I watched you sabotage the cat. No. So someone had given me a book called The Good Life, and the irony of it is they didn't know I didn't read, but that's okay. It was going to be on my book list, but while I was given this book, being reminded, how do you not know that? That's like the most pivotal thing, since it is not just obvious, but if I'm very vocal about things. So I made a point to do things that would show I'm cognitively struggling, just because you have to see it to believe it sometimes. And in the short moments with the doctor, I am reporting it, and I don't think they recorded it. Not what I said, because they're not really paying attention. And you wawa, I watched you sabotage the cat? No. Sadly, I understand. These are miscues. Wawa, I watched you because eventually, after having to list my body pain, right shoulder, reverberating in my feet, up to my head, dizziness, across my face, stampede. I mean, this was how I would track it, and I thought, I can't do this. I'm gonna clip it. I'm gonna make it better, like my note taking, because my paraprofessional was taking so many notes. She said, my hand is hurting. I said, yeah, these narratives. Let me make a data chart. So every three times he's off task, make a mark. Every one time he leaves the room, make a mark. When he has violent issues, definitely record what you see. Observational, no judgment. I sat and discussed this with so many people, how to data record. My knowledge given to you. And what'd you do with that knowledge? You ended up on a list to testify. Not my paraprofessional, not her. I'm talking about these teachers who have everything. They are so, what's the word? Wow. Lazy, entitled, and seriously prejudiced, and I don't know what to call it, just taking advantage. Or maybe you think differently, teacher, so we can have the conversation publicly. No, you know what? No, we cannot. The teachers on this list, I have a history with, and I think that's what it was about. Because I held them accountable, like those two teachers who actually graded the kids. So you're going to want good teachers in your life. Because we teach you morality. We model the best things, which is reach your full potential and give back. Because don't you want to find a passion? Don't you want to have a full and healthy social life? Don't you want to not be deemed unreliable, untrustworthy, and unsafe? Because that's what I looked for in my clients. You had to be reliable, trustworthy, and safe. And the homeless population helped me truly fine-tune this. And nobody in the park gets fresh with me. Nobody. They're the nicest, most delightful, safest people I've ever been around. And the board of directors is yelling at me saying, you're scared of people in the park? No, I am not. Thank you. Wawa, I watched you sabotage the cat. Actually, I want to go back to the cat. I don't want to talk about the cat. I'm going to write about the cat. I'm going to let my fingers flow. Wait a minute. That fingertip shit, not a lit anymore. All right. Okay, that's right. I'm going to drop a lot of this. I'm looking at it 14:33 and 25:06. That's 9 minutes. That's like 2014, 2025. That's how many years have gone by since when? Not really. I'm just saying that in between time. Let's calculate it. Let's just move ahead really fast. I don't know what I said in here. But orange, orange, orange. I could put a lot of Trump in there, or I could write about it. Will you be the emergency contact? At this time, no. Here's why. Because you learn. People are just doing that to get cozy up with you. People are just doing that to try and make some fake intimacy. The city that I live in, but they butter you up. Oh my gosh. Stuff to read. Clients that I do not forget this. Get that voucher sorted. Duh. Country country food, and food. Thank you too. There's so much in here. Yelling, 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 more yelling, more yelling. Ugh. And then the mural of Robin Williams. Just perfect pair. Remain as a multi-purpose room, covered up because it's scary. 17 and stairs, so all of it together. Back up, back up. Boom, 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 boom. I like this. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to get rid of everything else and the roadmap. This. I said you're going to have to ask for my hand. You know, I'm traditional. No, I don't know. I think that's what you're supposed to do because I never thought about my wedding. Women, girls grow up and think about their weddings. Not I. I was thinking about what I'm going to do with my future. And the words, this is over. How many minutes is it? All right, we'll end with that. 3 minutes. I can listen to 3 minutes. We're going to zoom through this because we're in ludicrous speed. And if you know if you know the movie, then you know we're in World 1, which is blue balls. Why? Have you ever been with someone who tries to make a move and then claims blue balls is a medical issue? Well, this person went on to create the fake medical record. Okay, I'm not kidding. And then I said, well, okay. And then they said they have a memory issue. I said, all right, well, why don't you take care of it? Well, I don't have insurance, or I used up all my insurance. I'm like, that reminds me of RIC when they were using units. If I continue with you guys, you're going to use up all my insurance in just the 4 weeks that I'm supposed to be here. So this is pointless. So after 2 weeks, I left because it wasn't effective. And they used psychology. And I thought, are you guys trying to brainwash me? I'm just very aware of that. Because the words were, he's brainwashed by Fox News. Because they would talk about it, that gossip. That is the most unsafe thing ever. The gossip. I did this faster because the words were, he's brainwashed by Fox News, because they would talk about it, that gossip. That is the most unsafe thing ever. I did the poetry. And that's all you need to know. All right, if you want to hear the poetry as it pops up, the longer versions with the visuals, the fun visuals of museums and things I love, and trying to explain this again with a little longer shot and recognizing I'm not capturing what it feels like to have vertigo, what it feels like to have all these little issues here and there. That's the point. I captured it because I did not want the hospital to be confused. Hey, I can explain it. I got my voice back. Yes. And I got my voice back. Let me double check. Because this happens a lot. And I got my voice back. Okay. Because like I said, and I got my voice back when calling me this name. I got my voice back. I don't call myself that. And my students didn't call myself that. And my students didn't call themselves that. They called themselves other names, which I heard a lot. Like, oh, come on. But that's the problem. That's why I had clients whose parents put their cigarettes out on their skin. And that's why when I told somebody, hey, please don't flick those cigarettes like that, because I really don't want the person who we're going to be advocating for today to trigger, and I'm giving you a little heads up. Please don't do that. And this person literally did it as a joke. They said, you are no longer my friend. These are the horrible words to say to people. I don't think so. People that tell me I can't say no to stuff. I need to learn how to say no, like to events and things. And I said, it's really easy. Just say no. I don't want to go. It's not that hard. But I did say yes to this wedding. And I was crying, sobbing when they asked me because they started out with a lie. We were really thinking about this. It took a lot of time for us, and we want you to be in our wedding. No, I thought, somebody got sick. I was bawling. And that's the origin of the first trigger lying to my face.
Noise, but
it was all the accumulation of all the lies about where's my classroom for my students. Our students. And I couldn't say our students.
Just
O-U-R.
excuses.
How many pronouns?
So
why?
How old?
Because it sounds like
great
how old you are.
It
Doesn't matter how old you are.
And
how do I know?
If you're making excuses at any age,
it just
PTSD is going to find that contradiction out.
If you don't have that experience, then we don't share the same experience. Please, I'm only looking for people that have the same genuine experience as I.
Stop.
Because you can Google things now, and then you can pretend. So do I really want to date?
And that's for, are you acting stupid on purpose?
No, thank you. Sadly, I understand. These are miscues.
Miscue was serving my, did I say that? Life is about
Service to others. Oh, why seriously do this? Father, sister, brother. Family. Here's the roll call. God. Thank God for arts. Otherwise, I think I would have died. So let's elevate the arts. To who? Kids. Because I think they need it the most. Mental health. It's free. It's appropriate. It's public education.